Three killed, two wounded in early morning shooting in Downey. This is by Irish Salem, updated on July 10th, 2022, happening in Los Angeles. Let's go to CBS Los Angeles. So authorities say three men were killed during a shooting at a party in Downey that left two other people injured early Sunday morning. The incident unfolded around 12:45 a.m. Sunday in the 8100 block of Leeds Street. It was there that officers responded and located four men and one woman who had been shot. Three of the men were pronounced dead at the scene. The female and another male were taken to the hospital. On Monday, the victims were identified as 33-year-old Los Angeles resident Paul Gonzales, rest in peace, 36-year-old Pico Rivera, resident Shawn Garcia, and 43-year-old Brandon Chavez. The other two victims sustained non-life-threatening gunshot wounds, but we don't know if these people will need permanent rehabilitation or if they will be permanently damaged from these shootings. Rest in peace to all the people that lost their lives. What led to the shooting was not immediately known, though residents are shaken up by the ordeal. "I know it wasn't fireworks," said Carey Frazier, who lives near where the shooting occurred. "Growing up in LA and around the area, you know when fireworks are fireworks. The rapid succession, it was like 10 rapid shots, and then you heard like 6 more behind that, and then it got quiet." That's sad. That's sad. Is America a war zone? Is this Afghanistan? Is this like Southern Sudan during the Janjaweed time of the civil war there? I mean, America is just literally, the bloodshed is out of control. The gun violence is out of control. This is becoming a national embarrassment, a national crisis, and something has to be done. And my solution to it is get rid of the guns, period. Americans have proven over and over again, constantly, not to be responsible with guns. We are not using guns responsibly. It only results in more Americans killing other Americans over stupid, petty disputes or crimes of passion. Nobody's using these guns to defend themselves. I said this in my previous video, and we looked at the statistics. More people are likely to use these weapons to either hurt somebody else maliciously or to commit suicide with them. These weapons of war are not good to have in American society. It's only causing more harm. 3 Americans lost their lives for nothing, right? And all lives matter. Frazier said that as the investigation continued, a man pulled into his driveway and asked if he could park there since it was near the investigation. He told him that he had 2 sons at the party turned tragedy, one of whom was shot and the other who escaped unscathed. Another resident, Anthony Ramos, said that even though his house was a little further from the scene of the incident, he could still hear what he called intense gunfire. "Since the police arrived, we've seen everything," he said. "There was 2 guys laid out in the street. As the investigation continued, authorities were still searching for information on potential suspects involved in the shooting." So rest in peace to these 3 young people. Paul Gonzales, Pico, and Shawn, and 43-year-old Brandon Chavez. All right. So yeah, all of these people, by their last names, I'm assuming that they're Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, however you want to say. And this goes to show that, once again, gun violence is hurting all Americans, right? I'm not the type of person to racialize or ethnicize the perpetrators of gun violence or the victims of it, because we are all Americans at the end of the day. And whether they are Americans or not, because I have some racist xenophobes in my comments, and they would say, well, these people might have been illegal immigrants. You don't even know that. But people say the sickest and weirdest stuff in my comments. Nobody in America should be in fear for their lives. If you travel to Switzerland, France, Sweden, any other country that we should be comparable to, if not better than, you don't fear for your life when you're traveling there. And I'm not trying to go off on another tangent, but these young people, no matter their age, they should not have died over whatever stupid petty dispute. Some people might say this was over drugs, and if you're dealing drugs, you should deal with the consequences. But I have my opinion about drugs, and I believe that all should be legalized. We will see much less violence and criminalization of people if we legalized all the drugs. But I'm not trying to assume anything about any of the people here that they were involved with illegal or illicit activities. That's not what I'm saying. The point of this video is to say senseless, stupid violence like this will continue to happen in America unless Americans demand change. The left demands change and says that enough is enough. The guns are not helping our society. It's not, guaranteeing our democracy. It's not being used to protect our homeland from rabid invaders. It's not used to protect our homes from, wild break-ins and anything like that. And anybody that's been through like maybe a break-in or somebody tried to harm you or something like that, you are one of the exceptions. The majority of the time, the things you worry about never happen. And most people, I swear to God, most of the time when people have their homes broken into and stuff like that, they end up shooting somebody else in their home than they are shooting the person who enters. And the right wing and conservatives and reactionaries love to point out a few stories when a good guy with gun stopped a bad guy with gun, or a good person with a gun stopped the criminal from taking their property and things like that. But the majority of time, gun violence happens in America. It's not, the people that you want to see with the guns taking care of the bad guys with guns. No, it's not. It's just stories like this. Three dead, 2 injured over something probably very stupid and petty. Mass shootings will continue to happen. Mass deaths, the suicide rate for people will continue to go up as long as we allow these weapons to continue to permeate American streets. Period. This does not happen in any other country that we should be comparable to. If you want to compare us to El Salvador or Iraq or Guatemala, yeah, America's doing great. But if you want to compare it to the countries that we actually should be the role model to, America is not. America is not. So, once again, by the way, some people will say, oh, they have guns in these other countries. Gun ownership there is much more restricted. They have actual gun control. People like to bring up Switzerland, where every man has a gun. But people in Switzerland are trained to own their guns. They keep them for military purposes because of Switzerland's unique culture and history. People like to bring up Italy. Only 5% of Italians own a gun, right? It's not a mass gun culture. Meanwhile, up to like 40% of Americans own a gun. Maybe more. Maybe more. I need to revisit the statistics. But no other country in the world compares to us with gun ownership. We have about 1 gun per person in America that we can account for and know about. It's getting out of hand. It's ridiculous and sad, and it needs to stop. America, we can do better than this. And once again, abolish the Second Amendment. My name is Simon Hill, and thank you for watching.